How's it going, everyone? In this video, I'm going to be going over all of the EV stocks that we talked about, like Solo, Arcimoto, Kndi, and we're going to go over exactly what could potentially happen for the next few weeks and even for tomorrow. So I'm going to be talking about exactly what is the ideal thing that we need to be watching out for if you want to get involved in these companies. I'm also going to be covering an electric vehicle company, ticker symbol BYD, which is trading in OTC market right now. And Warren Buffett has been aggressively investing in this company, and the stock is performing very well. We'll see what is the potential for this company for the future, if it's an ideal company to get involved in it, and also what to expect for this company for the future. So I'm going to cover all this important information coming up, so make sure you stay tuned. Now, as I mentioned, we're going to go over all of the stocks that we talked about before. I talked about this EV company that Warren Buffett is aggressively invested in. Now it's up significant amount, is making a lot of profit. Let's talk about exactly what can happen, let's say for Solo stock. So Solo stock has been really aggressively going to the upside. Of course, we talked about it. What is the potential for this company in the future? What is the ideal price target and things like that in our previous two videos. So you can go and check out those videos. But one of the important things you want to be looking out for when stock prices really significantly go up, the majority of these companies, they might go out there and look at the opportunity and will try to raise money. So what they do is they're going to be doing an offering. So what an offering basically means is a public sale, either to stock, bond, or securities, and they have two way of raising money. So they either go IPO and they do initial sale to the public, or they can do secondary offering, which is going to be to shareholders. That's going to be selling to the public, and also reserve of authorized shares. So they're not going to eventually just going to sell it to you, but they're just going to hold it on reserve, and they wait until the stock price goes up, and they're basically going to be selling it. So when this thing happens, usually the stock does not react positively. So let's say, for example, when we look at Arcimoto, that is exactly what they did a few days ago when the stock price significantly shot up to the upside. So the stock price broke out of the support area, this resistance area of $7.87, and it hit $20. But a few days ago, like 2-3 days ago, when you look at Arcimoto, actually did a direct offering. So what basically means is that they raised money and they offered more shares, so they basically diluted the share. So what that basically means is, I'm going to cover exactly what does diluting mean. So there's diluting versus non-diluting offerings. So for diluting offerings, what that basically means is that they're going to be adding to the total amount of shares that the stock is available to the public. So for Arcimoto, we talked about the amount of shares that they have a few days ago. For Arcimoto is approximately 31.96 million shares, but they added an additional shares to the public since they saw the price was inflated to the upside. So what that basically causes is that frequently the stock usually goes to the downside, and that is relatively a red flag, but it's really not a red flag when you think about it, because they're taking advantage of it. They're raising money. The overall purpose of the overall stock market is, of course, for these companies, to raise money, to raise capital. So they took advantage of it. So they diluted the shares and they eventually raised money. And the other offering is going to be the non-diluting offering, which is going to be does not add to the number of stocks available to the public, and that is selling stock held by major shareholders. So let's say, for example, you have the CEO or the CFO and some of the employees. If they decide to sell, that really is it's just a non-diluting offering. They just sold it. So they just exchanged the number of people, the people that hold, let's say, for example, the CEO sells it to the public, it just exchanged hands. They didn't initially, create more shares and offered it to the market. So that is non-diluting offering. So when we expect for the other companies for the next few days is, let's say, for example, for Solo, for Kndi, and other stocks that have been aggressively going higher, we might expect the stock prices to, to potentially pull back a little bit, or we might expect, an offering to happen for the majority of the companies. So, I know Arcimoto took advantage of it. They raised the capital, the stock price went down. As you can see, a few days ago, it was going down, it went down like 10%. Because of that, it slips 10% when they do an offering. So we might expect, for Solo, and we got Ayro, we got Kndi, all these companies can do the same thing, and the stock price can eventually go down. So, but in the short term, of course, Arcimoto did the offering, and the stock price is relatively recovered from the dip, and now it's significantly going higher. It hit a 52-week high of $20.20. So we'll see if the momentum is going to continue depending upon how this entire scenario approaches. So for solo stock that we talked about, solo stock has been going to the upside. We talked about the Citron research that came out a few days ago that made the stock price to dip a little bit. So expect maybe on Monday for a gap down. As you can see, after hours is also gap down 3.52% and my gap down. So I'm not 100% sure. I'm just saying my prediction, and we might expect an offering. So if they do an offering, of course, you might see a dip to the downside. So that is usually what could potentially happen. If you're somebody that was waiting on the sideline to get involved in this company, that is a great opportunity. If you see potential of growth for this company for the future, you want to get involved with them. So wait for the stock maybe to pull back or for them to do an offering so the stock price can eventually go down. So another company also that we talked about in detail is going to be ticker symbol Ayro. So this company is significantly made a move to the upside. It was up like 30.91% on Friday, made a new 52-week high of $9.87. And as you can see over here, the stock is really exploded, and expect maybe they do an offering, maybe they dilute the shares, a diluting offering, maybe they do non-diluting offerings, but you never know. But at the end of the day, we might expect some kind of pullback to the downside a little bit within the next few weeks. That can give you an opportunity because the stock's really extended to the upside. And if the momentum continues, you never know. These stocks can definitely go higher and higher. And depending upon if you're somebody that's invested in the long term or if you're a swing trader, day trader, of course, that is going to be different scenarios for you. So you can be in and out really quickly depending upon what your incentive is when you got involved in this company. So the other stock that we're going to be talking about is going to be, of course, Kndi. Kndi is one of the companies that we talked about that have the battery swap technology that they worked on, and they're the inventors of that technology. And the stock price also dipped to the downside, but it's still recovered significantly. So maybe we'll have within the next week, this upcoming week or after that, we might see some slight pullback to the downside that can affect the stock prices significantly. And that is going to be a great opportunity for people to buy because we had a lot of momentum. And we never know what potentially happen in the next few days. But if they continue to the upside, that's really great. But if you're waiting on the sidelines to buy these companies, it's going to be a great opportunity for you too. So now let's talk about the stock that Warren Buffett actually got involved. It's ticker symbol BYD, but this is trading in an OTC market. So if you're trying to buy it, this is an OTC market. That means it's an over-the-counter market. So the ticker symbol is going to be BYDDF. So that is if you want to get involved in this company, that's what you want to look at. There's another ticker, which is ticker symbol BYD. That is not it. That is it's like a video game company. But this is, you want to be looking out for this company is ticker symbol BYDDF. What's fascinating about this company is, as I mentioned, is Warren Buffett is actually involved in this company. Berkshire Hathaway got involved in this company a while back, and the sales and also the earnings report that they came out a few days ago has been phenomenal. So the Q3 earnings up 3,000% as Chinese EV sales bounce back. So that is really fantastic for Berkshire Hathaway and Warren Buffett, the chairman Warren Buffett, because they are up significant amount. They've been buying this company a while back. And as you can see, the stock price really went up, shot up to the upside after the March dip over here. It's been aggressively going up, and also the EV market is hot right now. So this stock is definitely going higher and higher. So what they basically offer, if you look in detail about this company, they have a hybrid and also electric vehicle cars they have available. And their orders are actually up, 40,000. That is a significant amount of orders that this company is getting. As you can see over here, is that last month BYD had said that its strong demand for luxury sedan Honda, which saw more than 40,000 orders within 2 months of launch. So that is really, really high, 40,000 when they launched. So this is the vehicles. The design is actually relatively pretty cool compared to the other cars like Kndi and things like that. I like the design better. It looks better. It can be better, but just my opinion. But if you like it, of course, people actually ordered 40,000 of it because they like it. So they have a hybrid, and they also have a battery electric passenger vehicle available. As you can see, that is really great. So when you look at more detail about this company, as of course, if you want to get involved in it long term, the stock price is definitely exceeding, their orders. It's phenomenal. Their earnings reports, they're beating their earnings reports a lot. They have solid growth, and you might expect the stock price to continue to go higher. You also have, Warren Buffett that got involved in it. When Berkshire Hathaway invests, they invest for the long term. So you might expect the stock price to continue to go higher and higher and make new 52-week highs. So one important thing you want to be looking at is the stock price is relatively close to the 52-week high, which is around $25.92. So if the momentum continues, there's a lot of shift, there's a lot of rotation going on right now, and a lot of people are investing in this electric vehicle companies, and they're seeing the huge potential growth that can happen, just like in niio. So they didn't want to miss out, and they're getting involved in these companies. So as I said, the target for this in the short term is going to be, can potentially grow to the upside and might hit new 52-week highs pretty soon if the momentum continues. But you have to also be careful if you're somebody that wants to get involved in the short term. If you're day trader and things like that, this is an OTC over the counter, and things work differently over there. So if you want to get involved in it, the way they trade it and things like that is different. Is definitely different. And also the amount of shares, if the stock is really 22.7 billion, you see this huge gap up, gap downs. It has a lot of gap up, gap downs that happen a lot. So you have to watch out for that. This can easily just gap up and gap down a lot. So that is one of the things you want to be careful getting involved in this company. So let me know in the comment section below if you have any questions, any comments about the stocks that we talked about. If the momentum continues, all the EV companies that we talk about, like Solo, Arcimoto, Ayro, Kndi, and all those companies, can see another leg up to the upside. But as I mentioned, these companies might provide a buying opportunity if they do an offering pretty soon within the next few days. So be watching out for that. You can also check if these companies do an offering, pre-market hours. If the stock gaps down, you can check on the news to see exactly why the stock is down. And if you see anything that says an offering, that basically means that they diluted it. And understand like what they did, what kind of diluting they did, if it's diluting the offerings or non-diluting offerings. We talked about it. So be on the lookout for that information before you panic or sell, or before you start buying and things like that. So that is one of the important things about be watching out for moving forward for the next few days when it comes to this electric vehicle companies. I know it's really hot. Everybody wants to buy these companies, but at the end of the day, you have to be making a decision if you're going to be invested in this company for the long term, or if you want to just ride the hype of 10, 20, 100% within a short amount of period of time, because these companies are just going 10, 20%, 100% like it's nothing. So even if you wanted to swing trade them or day trade them, you're going to be making significant amount of profit. So that's why a lot of people are attracted to these companies. They don't have a lot of shares, they have a lot of momentum, so these companies are significantly going higher and providing a lot of opportunities. So definitely watch out for these companies in the next few weeks. We'll see how things unfold. And if you have any questions, any comments about any of these companies, make sure you drop in the comment section below, and make sure you subscribe, hit the like button, and I'll catch you on another video later on, and have a wonderful day.